In past and present society, conformity is what keeps us together, makes us a whole, and prevents us from straying from our humanity. However, individuality is what provides opportunities for advancement in humanity. Alike, a short animated film by Daniel Martinez Laura and Rafa Sano Mendes, published in December of 2016, brings a message advocating for consciousness of conformity and the focus and promotion of individuality as the saving grace of humanity. The city in which the father and son exist is one of uniform infrastructure, all houses, roads and sidewalks identical and devoid of detail. The city and the people within it exist simply to perform the basic purpose given to them. No more, no less. The opening scene is a bird's eye view shot which shows the composition of a strictly uniform city in the form of suburbs, streets, and people. After this statement of conformity, the introduction of the father and son makes a blinding contrast, as they are portrayed in colour and their body language is cheerful and positive emotions are displayed through their facial expressions. The correlation between colour and emotion is quickly established, allowing the audience to respond to the changing colour as emotion. The use of colour representing emotion is directly relevant to the contemporary world in which body language is often more truthful than spoken words. This scene uses a split screen to show the daily routine of the father and son, who are ultimately in the same situation. It follows them throughout their day and the continuous cycle they are in. This repeats multiple times, showing the monotony of their day-to-day existence. Showing both scenarios in sync and almost mirrored prompts the audience to perceive it as a general overview of life for all in the world of alike. As a responder, you then consider the similarities of the conditions of anonymity before you and compare them to those of your own life. The lasting effects of these experiences are depicted in still images in amongst the roll credits. First, an image of the parent and son sharing a newfound experience of drawing, laughing at their wonderfully individual creations that they had never expressed before. These moments could have been included somewhere at the end of the film, but they did not really fit in with the flow of the story, so it is rather fitting that they were placed in the end credits after the main story is over, so as to hint at a second chapter of life that extends from the life-changing experience of revoking conformity that they both shared. Touching afterthoughts such as these remind us that we can each have an enormously positive impact on those around us. People often forget that almost every emotional scene in the history of film has had music behind it, because we as humans can be deeply moved by different styles of music. The animation has an instrumental theme that creates the mood. For example, the music starts as the simple main theme, then grows and develops as the story progresses. During the first instance of the conformity that emotionally affects the characters, the music stops dead, leaving a space which the responder is prompted to fill with their thoughts on conformity in their own world. In my own experience, I have found that when life is going smoothly, it is easy to be oblivious to these concepts, which apply to the human experience for each and every one of us. For if there is no apparent problem, why question anything? Alike provokes the responder to consider these concepts of conformity versus individuality by presenting a human experience familiar to each and every one of us, getting us to relate to it, comparing it to our own experiences, and then question the similarities and differences we find. You might find that there are some concepts in alike that are actually huge factors in your own life, though perhaps you never understood them. But as you watch the animation, it might have given you a clarity of insight into the issue that you had never before reflected upon. By immersion into the world of alike, the responder is given an in-depth insight into the influences that suppression of creativity, conformity to the norm and the system, and thus suppression of individuality have on each and every one of us that make up humanity.